guys? Welcome back to another video. Thank you for clicking on this video. Today we'll be getting into how to train the wooden dummy and how to train Chi Sao by yourself. So, it's a good video. I know you already saw that intro and the title. So that out of the way, we're gonna get right into the video. But if you want to learn stuff like this, more stuff, 100 videos, then I have a $5 course that has all the stuff in it, plus hundreds of videos of JKD, Wing Chun, all the good stuff. So without the way, we're gonna get right in the video. So the title, we'll be talking about the wooden dummy and how to train something like Chi Sao by yourself with no partner. So this will help a lot if you know Chi Sao or you've also been practicing it with some partner. You go to class, a Wing Chun class, JKD class. But this will help if you've done Chi Sao before. But this will also help a lot if you've never done Chi Sao to understand what the point is and how to get really good at it, to how to increase your Wing Chun trapping, center line, all that stuff, to increase your abilities at it and be really good. Slight disclaimer, the drill I'm going to show you on this, I kind of made up. I've not really seen anyone do this, but I'll show you why I like this drill, how I train on the dummy. And this is one thing I do to train by myself. So if you don't like what I'm doing, feel free to roast me in the comments, but we're going to get right into it. So I highly always suggest that the dummy is not as good as a person. You can train Wing Chun, JKD, any art, train it with a person, a human being. This is supplemental training. I train a lot with other people. I do it a lot. But I also train a lot by myself. And the dummy's good because this, I can hit it as hard as I want, and I can do it as long as I want. I can train to whatever I want. That's one thing. I train with people a lot, but I also train a lot by myself because when you're by yourself, that's how you perfect the technique, sharpen the skills. That's how you perfect it, to get it down to where you don't have to think, you can just move. Where your technique is flawless and you can generate a lot of power, a lot of speed, and you're really that good. So that comes by yourself. When you're with somebody, that's when you're testing yourself, seeing if it works, seeing if it doesn't work, seeing how the person reacts, and testing your stuff. And that's very important. So like I said, having a person is always number one first. But when you're by yourself, when you want to train more, the dummy is a good tool. It really is. You just have to know how to use it. And we're going to talk about that right now. We're going to talk about this and how to train something very like Chi Sao to increase your trapping, to increase your Wing Chun, to increase your center line and all that good stuff. So it'll be very good. So if you've not, you can get a dummy. You can, if you want, if you're very dedicated, you can get a dummy. They are a little pricey. If you do though, the ones that mount on the wall are better because they're stable. But this is good too. Like I said, I got this, and I just put some weights on it on the back so it doesn't move as much. Also, when you get a dummy, you want your arms, the arms to be around your shoulder height. This is too low, but I can't really raise it without it being unstable. So I right here and it's fine. But that's one thing, you want the arms to be around your shoulder height, Last, if you don't have a dummy, that's fine. You can simulate this with something else on a tree maybe and sticks. Like you can, it's just to have these two lines of attack mainly. That's what we're gonna go over. This one is important too, but for this today, we're only using these really. These two lines of attack. The dummy, these two arms simulate, the guy's hand, the guy's arm, them throwing a strike. It really simulate two lines of attack. Maybe their hands are up, whatever. It's simulating their hands are up. We're going to talk about how to use this to your advantage and how to train this aspect. Yet again, this is only going to supplement and make your training better if you know what you're doing. So I'm going to try to explain it as thoroughly, but also not take too long explaining what I'm doing. So if you know what Chi Sao is, that's great. If you don't, the brief synopsis, you're gonna see two guys rolling like this, kind of doing this motion with their arms. And really, Chi Sao is a great drill because you're gonna learn all your theories, all your techniques. You should be able to perform them in Chi Sao. You should be able to do them in Chi Sao. So I'm gonna show you do all those same moves on this dummy. But the Chi Sao is very good because if you are good at Wing Chun or no Wing Chun or JKD, you're gonna be able to do all your techniques through Chi Sao. This is a good drill to do to get used to doing these techniques and movement with a person in front of you, with them trying to punch you and occupying center line. That's a big thing we're gonna talk about in this. So I see a lot of guys say, well, the Chi Sao doesn't work. The Wing Chun doesn't work. And that's wrong, it does. The best, and I'll say right now, one of the best ways I've used it, and the best ways that it works, is that the Wing Chun in the trapping is designed for if the person's hands and arms are in the way of their face, in the way where you can't punch them. that is when the Wing Chun trapping works. If that's why the dummy works, because it's simulating that their hands are in the way of where I want to punch. That if I punch, he's in the way. He's in the way. If his arms are not in the way, then I don't need to do any of this stuff. So that's one thing you're going to learn, that's what this training is, monitoring and controlling these arms, these hands, because they're in the way, right? This works well if the guy's a boxer, has his hands up. That's where all the stuff's going to go in, because now you can monitor and trap and do all the good stuff. The way I've used this Chi Sao and stuff in real life is when, yet again, in real life, I'm not going to have a stance. I'm going to be talking to him. When I talk with the hands like this, I'm talking to the guy. When I'm talking like this, if he swings, I'm ready to do something. But if he brings his hands up, well, now I'm monitoring his hands. It's the trapping, it's the sensitivity. It's the sensitivity. That's literally how that works. Most times, the guy's gonna have their hands down, yelling at you, talking to you. So you're gonna have your hands up already talking to them. Once they bring their hands up to do something, I'm already monitoring so I can do something, so I can hit and not get hit. That's like a really important part. With the hands up, you're able to monitor their arms, monitor their hands so they can't punch you in the face. And that's the trapping and sensitivity works at its best. So in Chi Sao, look at that, you see this rolling motion. Well, you can't necessarily do that exact same motion on here, but one thing I've done is just this roll that you'll do in some Wing Chun dummy forms and stuff. I'll practice and I'll just do this roll for some time. And then realizing this, you can do, this roll can take the place of the Chi Sao, but with a dummy. The first thing we'll talk about is notice that when I'm moving, my back's punched a little bit, just like in a stance, my shoulders are somewhat down, my chin's dropped, like I'm in a stance. When I'm working this, I'm not straight up like this, I'm in a stance. Because when I'm hitting this and I'm moving this, I want to be moving the dummy. You see a lot of guys do it, they hit the dummy to look cool. No. When I'm moving it, I am trying to move the dummy to affect the dummy. That I should be moving these arms, these corners, I should be affecting it. So here, this small motion, my core is engaged and flexed, and I'm turning my whole body. It's not just my arm, it's my whole body. Because in real life, when I need to trap, I'm trapping the whole body out the way, right? I have weights in this dummy, and it moves like that because I train that explosiveness, because that explosiveness, that power and speed is only gonna make your stuff even better. So when I am moving, and again, my core is locked, I'm kind of in a stance, my feet, I'm in a stance a little bit. I'm grounded to the ground, so now when I'm moving, I want to be moving the dummy. If this is a wall dummy, it won't, it's not gonna move, it's good, it's good. But then again, since I don't have a wall dummy and I have weights on the back, it's gonna move some. But that's good because it helps me say, okay, I'm good, I'm engaged, I have a structure. Because I want to practice when I'm moving and trapping, when I have to parry, that I'm really hitting the person's arm, or really moving their body out the way. That's one thing you want to do anytime you get down. You're not hitting like this. You're literally moving the whole, you're trying to move the whole dummy, because this simulates a person's arm. When I hit someone's arm, I'm not doing patty cake. I'm using my whole body to clear the line. I'm using my whole body to clear the line to hit. That's what you're trying to do. Yeah. You can start with one arm kind of on this Bong style like this, relax, resting. This other arm is coming in concept like this. From here, I'm gonna come back. This right arm's gonna go in Bong style, and this left arm's gonna go in the Ton style. I'm going from Bong style to Ton style like this. And you do this in the forms, but yet again, so I first was only doing this motion, and then I felt that from this, you can do all the stuff from Chi Sao in this, and it works the same attributes. So that when you do Chi Sao with another person, it's even better. So you just practice rolling like this. Notice yet again, if you have it weighted down, it's not going to move. But yet again, these are cheaper, and so it's going to move. But yet again, you see how I'm not moving, but I'm trying to move it, because yet again, in real life, I'm really trying to push the person's off balance. I'm trying to take it center. I'm not just playing patty cake. So, do this slowly first so you can kind of see. So, the reason this is a good drill, because when I'm actually doing it, yet again, if it's just bolting in the wall, I'm gonna have to move around for you to to get for you to imagine it, you're gonna have to move because it's not gonna move. For me, this works really well having like this because when it moves, it actually keeps to me that, okay, I'm occupying center line. We're gonna talk about that in a second. But if you have it like this, when doing it, you wanna move it. You actually wanna move it like this because you're actually simulating taking center line. That's very good because in real life, you get someone's arm, your arm's gonna move. It's not gonna be like this, like a rock. If it's bordering the wall, you have to practice kind of shifting off and on center. Shifting, taking center line. So I say center line a lot, and you know center line pretty much the middle of your body, from your nose to draw a line, that's your center. And Wing Chun, this is like the most important theory. I did a whole video on this, that center line is the most important theory, that all the trapping, all the stuff shows you is that you should be occupying center line, taking center line, you're always attacking on your center line and making sure the opponent is not on your center line. So when I'm moving like this, I want my hands to be on my center. It's very kind of hard for you to see this, but even from right here, you can kind of see that my hand is, on the center of my body. Here, if I were to punch this person, I am cutting across their arm because I'm controlling center. My elbow's near center, and my hand and wrist is actually on my center. So if I punch, their arm right here is missing me. If I were to punch elbow down, I'm gonna cut, and their arm's gonna be pushed out the way. So you see I'm taking center. Also, if I'm on this tonsile, let's say you do it on this outside one, but I'll show you right here to show you. I'm doing this tonsile. Once my body's into it, and I'm actually using the core and moving like this, here, yet again, my wrist is on my center, I'm deflecting this arm. Therefore, if this person would try to hit me right at this moment, I'm deflecting it. They're gonna miss. And then I can strike back instantly because I'm occupying center. So when you're moving, I mean the dummies move like this, but it's showing for me I'm controlling center line. That way, when you are actually sparring or moving or fighting, and you do touch hands, whatever you're moving, if they let you take center, you just punch in the face. So that's the first part of this. If I'm moving and I'm doing Chi Sao and they let me take center, like here, that's a punch. If I'm moving like this, here, that's a punch. If you're moving here, that's a punch. See, it's not on center anymore, I'm deflecting, but that's a punch. That every time the person is not on center, you hit them. It's not the fancy trap, block, and all that. Like, no, it's very simple. If you're on center line, they're not, you hit them. Because yet again, I'm doing this, I'm deflecting this. Because this is not, a person, but in real life, my arms would be on center. So if he tries to punch, I just move him, bam, it's gone. And now, my hand's already here in the face. Or a finger jab, I can do a finger jab. Same thing here, finger jab. So the first thing, you can move it like I am, you are just literally just gonna practice whenever you feel like, okay, their arm is kind of not, like they would miss me, then you can practice hitting to get that instinctive reaction that when they're moving, that whenever you take center, that's a hit. It's wide open hit, you're gonna hit them. And also, you're not gonna get hit back. That's the thing. I'm here, I'm hitting. I'm taking center, and now I can hit, I come here, I can elbow, I'm protected now. That's the first thing I'll do. I'll come here, and I'll hit, to practice taking center line. But you see, these are just easy strikes you can do in Chi Sao all the time. You can do Chi Sao all the time if the person's letting you take center. If they don't know how to do that, and they're not actually on their center, you just hit them. That's the thing, you can just hit them. A lot of the fancy stuff only works because the other guy's trained good enough in Chi Sao where he's not gonna let you take a center. He has correct form, he's not gonna let you take center. That's when all the fancy trapping and the other stuff works. But 99% of people don't do that. Real life people, they don't know what center line is. So most of the time you just take it. You can just take center line. That's why I practice moving the dummy hard, because if I come in and hit someone in real life, I'm gonna take center. They're not gonna know this stuff. If I'm here and I got a parry, I'm shoving their entire body out the way to hit them in the face. I'm taking center by force. Then again, 99% of people don't know this stuff. They don't know center line. So you can just take it. But I see a lot of Wing Chun guys, they train so much with guys that do Wing Chun, they don't understand If you take center, you just beat them up. You can hit them at will. Just take center. They're not going to know to defend center. So that's the big thing. That's the first thing I'm done. I said earlier that you can do literally most all other techniques, just like in Chi Sao, on this dummy from this one rolling drill. Like, for instance, if I want to do a pop Sao, once I come back, I can hit here, bam, and fire with the hit. If I practice it wrong and I'm here, and then I try to pop, you see this won't work because he would just hit me. Thus, on the stance, in real life, one stance, his hand's already off center, and now I confirm that and I help him get even more off center. Yet again, this works. I like having this dummy because I'm using my whole body to pop, and not just doing like this. No, I'm driving my elbow, I'm stepping, I'm using my whole body to pop out because that's real life. Real life, you don't need the double pops and stuff. Realistically, it's usually a one beat, one track. It's really what you need. That's why I train hitting it hard like that with my body. Plus, the guy is talking to me and I'm talking, okay, I need one trap to hit. Now that I'm taking center, I can just keep hitting, I keep blasting. I can hit, I go for the elbow, I can do whatever I want at that point. Same thing on this side. With this hand, I'm literally, yet again, I'm moving. But this I like to move as well. I like to move around this as well. I don't like to say stand still. I like to here. So yeah, I can step on the outside, step, I'm off center, then I pop. I like to move with it because yet again it shows that I'm getting off center line. If I stand this way the whole time, I train bad habits. I train, okay, I'm gonna just stay on center and try to do this. No. I like to move with it because I'm showing, hey, I'm stepping off center, I'm diverted, he's not on center, I'm taking center now, and now I hit. They practice those good habits that you can train in Chi Sao. Now when you're in Chi Sao, if you actually move around, because a lot of guys do stand still, I like to move with my Chi Sao, I can do the same idea of stepping off and taking center. Let's say I want to work the Bong Sao. So like here, I could come with the back fist up there, or I can Bong Sao and then Ton Sao in like this. Both are good. The first way, sometimes I'll do it on the right arm, like this, because that's realistic. This simulates, this motion simulates if I have a right lead stance, he's a left lead stance, his hand's in the way, I can fake a jab, Ton Sao and they come up. That's realistically what I would do and done. That's a boxer all the time. But, then I can train in here. Or, I'm here. Enter the Bong Sao more traditionally we try. Flip the Ton Sao, and now I hit. And notice I'm stepping in, my whole body's behind it. Or come here and come with a pump in the face. It's very good too after, because notice I'm Bong Sao, I'm stepping in. Because the reason you're doing the Bong Sao, divert him, take him off center. With my body, I'm stepping into it, he's not gonna hit me anymore. Now I switch to Chi Sao, but then see, he's off center again, but now the line's open. I just hit. To your friends following this a lot, he'll go for the Chi Sao and hit the face, works really well. But let's say I want to work the Lop Sao. Here, I like this first one here. I'm gonna grab both and hit like this, but notice this represents I'm trapping down both hands, pin them down, and then hit. Notice getting I'm stepping in, shoving them off center line. Or, one more traditionally, then here I can grab this instead of hit, I can grab it and hit like that. That simulates the hands there. I can still grab and hit like that in real life. If I want to work the low line kicks in here, I can still step up and kick at the knee like you do in the Wing Chun dummy drills as well. It all works on this drill. If I want to work cutting, yet again, by cutting, taking center line like that, I can literally from here, I can just practice, I just go straight anyway. And that's practicing, just cutting, diverting all these lines to hit anyway. Because this works, because when I hit with my elbow down and vertical fist, I'm literally crashing his line, diverting his fist, diverting his arm to take center anyway. Yet again, that's what it's teaching. You can do this in real life as well. Some guys will teach, if this guy, let's say we're both in the same stance, but he throws a 2 or a cross, some guys will teach, practice firing off, which you can, it works, but you're literally practice cutting. What I do, because I'm usually right lead, they're usually a left lead, again, I will just go ahead and cut off that anyway. I just make sure that, see, I have to be off center line, so I'm gonna step this way outside a little bit, because now their hand is slightly off center. And that's when I strike, because now when I hit, they can't use this arm, I'm taking center, and now I can just keep firing, keep hitting them. Another thing I can do, going here, I can kind of trap both hands to hit with open palm to the face or a hook. That's the good thing too. And here I can still work elbow. Come here, I can do an elbow. Come in here, I can do an elbow. You can work all the stuff from this one drill. Two, yeah, again, with cutting and, you know, dissecting, I could, from this motion, just go for a finger jab of Yuji right here. Yet again, I'm taking center line, it's not hitting me, and I'm hitting. I can do this way. I'm doing from here, come this way. See, I'm off center, and now I can just strike again. So this is considered a split entry, but then again, you can use all the same concepts. The whole reason this works is because you're practicing center line theory, taking the center, and occupying center. That's why I practice this, because with those two, with that concept, that's when all the trapping works. If you don't have that down, your trapping's not gonna work. Most Wing Chun guys, when they spar with people, it doesn't work. They don't do it. And then again, I'm not a Wing Chun guy really. I'm a JKD. I JKD more than boxing, but it does work. That's why I train it and use it, because when I can use the Wing Chun trapping, it works because I'm occupying center. And that's what should teach you. That's when you use the dummy. That's the main thing it's teaching. If you're not occupying center line, if you're not keeping and staying on center line, making sure that this dummy's not on your center, you're not doing that, it's not gonna work. You're not gonna do it. Because yet again, in real life, this simulates the person's hands, and you're practicing manipulating the person to keep them off center. That's how I train it. Like, I don't know if that's the correct form, that's how I train it. I am practicing keeping my opponent off center line. I'm controlling center the whole time. So if you do that, you're not gonna be able to hit you. That's why with Chi Sao, if you're controlling center the whole time, they can't hit you. It's only with you have a really good guy, really good Wing Chun guy, and he knows this stuff, then it's hard. But if you're going against someone that's not that good, if you're controlling center, they can't hit you. That's how it works. So with this, the way I train, I am imagining it's a person and I'm manipulating center the whole time. Because now, if you were to punch, you'd obviously miss. That's the point. I'm using my whole body when I'm carrying and hurt and move. I'm using my whole body moving the dummy. I'm not just using my hand, because it's not real life. Because real life, you only need usually most times one trap, one hit. That's the main key. If the guy's hands are up out here, one trap, one hit. That's the whole thing. So once I hit them to be off balance and I keep hitting them, you shouldn't need a bunch of traps, because that first trap and hit should be so hard, it knocks them back. That's what it should be like. That's realistic. That's actual, realistic, effective training. So I want you to play around with that. If you have a dummy, please play around with it. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you thought of this video. And if you don't have a dummy, that's fine. Make your own with, sticks in a tree. But that same concept, this doesn't move. Let's say you're on a tree. Then you will kind of have to practice stepping out of the way, because it's not going to move. If you have something like this that does move, then for your visual cue is when I push it out the way to where this arm is kind of off me and my hand is on my center line, that's what you're practicing. You're practicing controlling and taking the center line, really. Because most people are not good at Wing Chun. You can just take their center line. They're not going to care because they're not going to know any better. That's the thing, that's the point. If you want to learn way more of this stuff for almost free, literally all this type of stuff, hundreds of videos, a lot of good stuff. I have a $5 course. Only $5 is only going to be $5 in the link in the description. And also, if you're young or if you're interested in self-improvement, I have a my personal self-improvement program and course, and that is 100% free. It's free, so I have a free self-improvement course down in the description as well if you want to check that out. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, and I will see you next time. Peace. Keep training.